Welcome back to Align by Design, the podcast where we explore what it really means to live in alignment with who you are. I'm Flavie, and today I want to talk about something I know so many of you are wrestling with right now. It's about the gap. You know the one I'm talking about. The space between who you say you are and what you actually do every day. Between your vision board and your bank account, between your big dreams and your daily actions. If you're lying awake, wondering why you're not where you thought you would be by now, if you're exhausted from performing your potential instead of proving it, this episode is going to show you exactly where your breakthrough lives. Because what I'm about to share might save you from making a very expensive mistakes. And more importantly, it might help you see that gap as your roadmap instead of your enemy. Let me start with that. I know you have a vision. Maybe it's a six, seven, even eight figures business. It's a freedom lifestyle, the impact you want to make, the legacy you want to leave. You can see it so clearly. It makes your chest tight with possibility. You've probably made vision boards, written out your goals, done the manifestation work, posted about your dreams, and you genuinely believe in what you're building. But when you look at your calendar, your content, your actual daily habits, and there's this uncomfortable gap between the vision of you that exists in your head and the version of you that showed up yesterday, but every day. Maybe you're posting about abundance while your money mindset is still a mess. Teaching confidence while you're people pleasing in your DMs. Talking about boundaries while you're still saying yes to things that drain you. And instead of facing that gap, you do what most of us do. You perform the vision instead of proving it. You spend more energy looking like you have it figured out than actually doing the work to figure it out. And I know this intimately because I've lived it. Let me share some things that completely stopped me in my tracks this week. I was scrolling through Instagram stories purely for research purpose, obviously. And I noticed some things that made my stomach drop. Story after story of beautiful vision board, manifestation posts about dream lives, affirmation about abundance and success, all perfectly curated and aesthetically pleasing. But then I clicked through to this same woman's actual content and I saw a different story. Inconsistent posting, prices that didn't match their high value messaging, strategies that scream, I'm still figuring this out, but trying to look, I have it together. And it reminded me of my own reality check from 2 years ago. I had the most beautiful vision board you've ever seen. My dream office, ideal client, revenue goal, all perfectly curated and aesthetically pleasing. I spent hours on Pinterest finding the perfect images. And I had it framed and hang it right above my desk where I could see it every day. Meanwhile, my actual business looked like chaos held together with good intention and anxiety. I was putting about system and scale while manually tracking everything in 17 different spreadsheets. Yes, I'm not exaggerating about the 17. I had one for the leads, one for the client, one for the income, one for the expenses, maybe two or three for the content IDs. I was droning in my own organization. I was teaching confidence while second guessing every decision I made. I will write an email, rewrite it 3 times, then ask my partner to read it before sending. I was talking about sustainable growth while working until 2 a.m. every night, then wondering why I felt burned out. The most painful part? I genuinely believed I was doing the work. I thought all that hustling, all that effort, all those late nights meant I was committed to my vision. But I was not building anything sustainable. I was just busy. And I remember one specific night sitting at my desk at 2 a.m., staring at my vision board and feeling completely disconnected from it. The woman in those images, confident, organized, successful, felt like a stranger. I was so busy trying to become her that I'd lost sight of who I actually was. The uncomfortable truth? I was so busy vision casting that I was not vision building. I was performing my expertise instead of proving it. And the gap between them was keeping me stuck in a cycle of hustling harder instead of building smarter. The wake up call came when a potential client asked me about my systems during a discovery call. I gave her this beautiful, polished answer about automation and workflows. So after I hang up, I spent 3 hours trying to find our application because I had no actual system for organizing inquiries. That moment of recognition, sitting there, surrounded by my 7 spreadsheets, staring at my perfect vision board. No, it was too much for me. I realized I had to stop hiding behind the performance and start doing the real work, the boring and sexy foundational work that actually builds businesses. So, here's what I've learned about that gap. It's not a sign that you're broken, you're behind, or you do anything wrong. It's intelligence. It's your system telling you exactly where your next breakthrough lives. Most people think that the gap is a problem, but the gap is actually the solution. It's showing you the exact distance between where you are and where you need to be. It's highlighting the skills you need to develop, the capacity you need to build, the courage you need to find. When you keep performing instead of proving, you stay stuck in the same behaviors while expecting different results. You exhaust yourself maintaining an image instead of building actual substance. And eventually, the gap gets so wide that even you can't ignore it anymore. But when you start seeing that gap as data, insight, information, instead of failure, everything changes. Instead of hiding from it, you can use it as a roadmap. So, let me break down the 3 types of execution gaps I see, and more importantly, how to close them. Let's start with the first one, the comfort gap. This is where you're avoiding the actions that would create real change because they feel uncomfortable or unfamiliar. It's posting content that actually reflects your prices instead of hiding behind generic value posts. It's having the money conversation with your client instead of hoping they will just get it. It's setting boundaries with families instead of complaining about them to your friends. But here's what's tricky about the comfort gap. You've gotten really good at convincing yourself that we're being strategic when you're actually just being scared to tell ourselves we're building trust first when really we're avoiding asking for the self. We say we're finding our voice when really we're afraid of judgment. I see this all the time with the pricing. Women will spend months perfecting the offer, creating beautiful sales page, developing incredible content. But the prices are so low, it's impossible to make a living. When I ask why, they say, I want to be accessible or I'm building my reputation first. But the real truth? They're terrified of being told no. So here's what the comfort gap asks. What uncomfortable action are you avoiding that would move you closer to a vision? And be honest with yourself about whether your strategy is actually fear in disguise. Let's move to the second one, the capacity gap. This is where your current systems, mindset, or energy can't actually hold the vision you're dreaming. Like saying you want to scale to 6 figures while you're still trading time for money with no system in place, or Wanting perfect health while your nervous system is still running on stress and caffeine, or claiming you're ready for your next level while your current foundation is built on overwhelm. This one is particularly painful because it means admitting that the way you're currently operating is not going to get you where you want to go. It means acknowledging that you need to learn new skills, build new systems, maybe even change your entire approach. I lived in the capacity gap for years. I wanted to scale my business, but I was still doing everything manually. I wanted to be seen as an expert, but I was whinging every client session. I wanted financial freedom, but I had no idea how much money was actually coming in or going out. The capacity gap requires you to get humble and ask, what foundation am I missing? What skills do I need to develop? What support do I actually need? Instead of trying to do everything alone. And finally, the courage gap. The third one is a courage gap. This is where you're playing it safe instead of taking the risk your vision requires. Like keeping your prices low because you're afraid of rejection, or staying in relationships that drain you because you're afraid of being alone, or posting self content because you're afraid of being judged. The courage gap is about recognizing that your comfort zone is actually keeping you small. It's about admitting that the thing you're most afraid of doing is probably the exact things you need to do. For me, the courage gap showed up around my messaging. I knew I had something unique to offer, but I was too afraid of being too much or too intense that I watered everything down. I posted safe, generating content that could apply to everyone, which meant it resonated with no one. The breakthrough came when I finally posted something raw, real about my own struggles. It was terrifying, but that post got more engagement and led to more client inquiries than months of safe content combined. So, here's what I want you to do. And I mean, actually do this, not listen to it. Get brutally honest about where you are right now versus where you say you want to be. Pull up your calendar from last week. Look at how you actually spend your time. Does it reflect someone who's building toward your vision? Look at your content from the past months. What story is it telling? Are you sharing your real expertise or playing it safe? Look at your pricing, your boundaries, your daily habits. What behaviors do you see? Then ask yourself, which gap is keeping me stuck? Comfort, capacity, or courage? And write it down because once you name it, you can claim it. Once you know which gap you're dealing with, you know exactly what work needs to happen next. And here's the key, you don't have to fix all the three gaps at once. Pick one, the one that feels most urgent, most uncomfortable, most necessary. That's where your breakthrough lives. And let me tell you, your dream, your vision is not too big. Your dreams are not unrealistic, but they do require you to become someone you can handle them. And that becoming happens in the gap, in the space between where you are and where you're going. So here's your work. Pick one gap, just one, comfort, capacity, or courage, and take one action that starts to close it. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, today, now. If it's comfort, do the thing you've been avoiding because it feels scary. If it's capacity, start building the skills or system you actually need. And if it's courage, take the risk your vision is asking for. And stop asking, what do I want? And start asking, what am I willing to do that I've been avoiding? Your future self is not waiting for you to feel ready. They're waiting for you to start proving that you can handle what you're asking for. Stop vision casting, Start vision building. And I want to leave you with this. Take a moment right now, if you can, if you're not driving. Place a hand on your heart and ask yourself, what gap am I leaving today? What am I avoiding? What would it feel like to close it, even just a little bit? And listen to what emerges. Trust what you hear. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. Every woman you admire has faced her own gaps, her own moment of choosing between performance and truth. The difference between those who break through and those who stay stuck is not that they don't have gap. It's that they use them as an information, an insight, instead of hiding from them. That's all for today. And if this episode resonated with you, I would love for you to share it with a woman in your life who might need to hear it. And if you're not already subscribed to this podcast, hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started with this conversation about what it really takes to build something aligned and authentic. Remember, the gap is not your enemy, it's your roadmap. Use it. And until next time, stay true, stay aligned, and keep evolving.